Good morning. I am Rasmika Bora going to discuss ecological succession. Succession is a natural process by which some locality become successively colonized by different groups or communities. It results in stabilization of ecosystem. According to Odam, plant succession may be defined as an orderly process of community change. Like an organism, every plant community has a developmental history. This developmental history is called plant succession. A plant community first comes into existence with the colonization of a berry area by spore-bearing or seed-bearing plants. The berry area may be a rock, open soil surface, or a shallow pool or lake. It is successively occupied by different plant communities. Ecological succession is the process of change in the species structure of an ecological community over time. The time scale can be decades, for example after a wildfire, or even millions of years after a mass extinction. Most plant associations are not static and constant in extent and character, but tend to expand their range to cover the entire environment to which they are well suited. Some particular species, on account of its size, abundance, and ability to compete successfully with its associate, usually become dominant. The presence of a particular dominant species, which is usually called as pioneer community, may in time change conditions so that a very different group of plants invade the community and eventually replace the original colonizer. Climatic and topographic changes of various kinds may in time modify conditions so that there are marked changes in the distribution of plant association. In a given locality, one group of plants may dash and course upon another. This kind of succession may be repeated or it may extend over many years, and it will continue until stability is attained through the establishment of vegetation, which is essentially permanent. This is called as climax association for the region in question. The great plant formation such as forest, grassland, and tundra are climax formation. The process of succession may start in places like berry rocks, exposed soil surface, shallow water such as a small pool, silting up rivers and bank of a lake, etc. Plant succession may be of two kinds. Primary succession, it starts in areas which have previously been unoccupied by plants such as open water, berry rock, or sand. Secondary succession, this kind of succession begins wherever the existing vegetation has been destroyed without denuding the area of soil. It usually starts after forest fires, cutting of the trees, flood, and erosion. It is also of common occurrence in abundant agricultural land. A single case of plant succession at a particular kind of habitat is usually referred to as a series, and that the various stages of series are called serial stages. Rate of secondary succession is faster than primary succession. Depending upon the nature of the habitat on which the plant succession begins, 7 types of shea may be distinguished. Hydroshea, when succession starts in aquatic habitat. Xeroshea, when succession initiates on a dry, berry land. Lithoshea, it starts on a berry rock surface. Samoshea, initiating on sandy habitats. Here the pioneer community comprised sand-binding grasses with runner, Helosia. It starts in saline soil or water. Here the pioneer plants usually have succulent leaves and stem. Senile. It is the succession of microorganisms and lower plants on dead plants' part and bodies. Eosia or Zoosia. It is the development of vegetation in an era. Process of plant succession. Let us make an in-depth study of the introduction, process, and types of plant succession. The process of plant succession consists of 9 steps. The 9 steps are nudation, migration, germination, eisthesis, colonization, and aggregation, competition and coaction, invasion, reaction, and stabilization. Major steps in a autotrophic succession are as follows. Nudation. An area is exposed. Migration. The process of dispersal of seed, spore, and other structure of propagation of the species to vary area is known as migration. Germination. It occurs when conditions are favorable. Eisthesis. Successful germination of propagules and their establishment in a very area is known as eisthesis. Colonization and aggregation. After eisthesis, the individual of the species increase in number as the result of reproduction. Competition and coaction. Due to limited resource, species show both inter- and interspecific competition. This results into elimination of unsuitable and weaker plants. Invasion. Various other types of plants try to establish in the space left by the elimination of plants due to competition. Reaction. The newly arrived plants interrupt with the existing ones. As a result of reaction, environment is modified and becomes unsuitable for the existing community, which sooner or later is replaced by another community. Stabilization. Finally, there occurs a stage in the process when the climax community becomes more or less stabilized for a longer period of time, and it can maintain itself in equilibrium with the climate of the area. As compared to cereal stage community, the climax community has larger size of individual, complex organization, complex food chain and food webs, more efficient energy use, and more nutrient conservation. Major trend during succession. There is an increase in structural complexity. Diversity of species tend to increase. Biomass and standing crop increase. There is a decrease in net community production. Increase in non-living matter. Food chain relationships become complex. Niches become special and narrower. Energy use and nutrient conservation efficiency increase. Stability increase. Thank you.